Sawadee Kap, May the 7th. The value of actions depends upon the courage they require. Wow. No balls, no glory. No guts, no glory. Okay. Ordinary people who do extraordinary things for others are those we call heroes. I'm with you. So far, so good. When asked why they performed as they did, they often say it was nothing anyone else wouldn't have done in the circumstances. Perhaps that's their way of saying we all have the capacity for greatness. It's only when we are severely tested that we rise to the occasion and perform at the highest levels of our competence. Yep. A lot of successful people like to challenge themselves. So, and that's why, because they find when they're challenged that they achieve more than they do if they're just sort of going through the day-to-day routine. You become a person who does the right thing when presented with great opportunities the same way. You achieve success at anything through force of habit. If you make it a practice to take the appropriate action, even when it seems unimportant and insignificant, you will do the right thing without thinking in important situations. There you go. That's a good one. Kind of train yourself to do the right thing by doing it all the time, even when nobody's watching. It's something you probably heard, right? Do the right thing even when nobody's watching. And what that prepares you to do is doing the right thing in an important situation when it counts. I like it. If you let your actions speak for you, you'll never have to worry about others recognizing your contribution. That's kind of a kickback to yesterday, so he's already covered that. But I like if you make it a practice to take the appropriate action. They said that 10,000 hours of doing something makes you an expert. Playing the piano, welding, whatever. So practice makes perfect. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. That's an old one. That was around when I was a kid, and I'm older than dirt. So, but that's the point is the more you do something, the better you get at it. So why not practice taking action and or doing the right thing? Pomelo juice. Here's some Thai grapefruit for you. I'll drink to that. It's a little bit sweeter than regular grapefruit. Right? Grapefruit in America is a little bit more sour, a little bit tartar, more tangy. It's an interesting fruit because it comes in a green, thick rind the size of a cantaloupe or maybe even a bowling ball. Smaller than a bowling ball, cantaloupe or honeydew melon. But the rind is super thick. So when you cut away the rind, it's the fruit inside is actually the same size as our grapefruit in America, like a softball. And like I said, a little bit sweeter. Now, that's from a carton, not from the fruit. So they might have sweetened it. They might have put sugar in it. I'd have to look at the carton and my little translator because I don't read Thai and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yes, practice taking action. Get used to it. Make it a habit. And another good book for you, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And that's the key. That's a huge key that your takeaway from today is to make the good things a habit and take away the bad things. Like when the urge comes up to do something that you know is wrong or is unproductive, like sitting and binge watching TV, fight it because that's a bad habit and you don't want to continue that. And when the urge comes up to get up and walk, and walk around and do laps, do it because that's a good thing for your health, right? Everything in balance. You want to be in balance. Your health, family, spiritual, money. It's all. So many people focus on just the money, they forget the other things. You seek balance. I'm losing weight, not to be sexy, for damn sure, but for health. And in trying to achieve health, I'm trying to achieve balance, right? Because I've got the money part down. I'm retired. I'm doing okay. I'm comfortable money-wise, especially here because it's so cheap. But I'm overweight, right? And being overweight leads to health problems like heart attacks and diabetes and mini strokes and all that crap. So trying to get everything back in balance so that everything spiritual and relationship-wise. And I'm single right now, and I'm very happy being single. When you've been in a long-term and a year, if a year is a long-term lease, then a year is a long-term relationship. Okay, So I was in a relationship for a year, so I'm actually quite happy not being in a relationship right now, if that makes sense. I will eventually get that part of my life in balance too. I'm just not looking for that right now. And for short periods of time, okay, so you're running a marathon and you want to make a certain time in that marathon, you can either run a certain pace that you know is going to get you to your goal the whole time and make it steady and even. And I'm not a runner, so I don't know if that's the better way to do it. Or you could say, okay, I am going to run the first 2 miles faster than the last 24 miles. I'm going to, when I have the energy, when I'm fresh, I am going to set a pace for, a 6-minute mile or a 7-minute mile or something like that, 8-minute mile, whatever it is. Once again, I'm not a runner, obviously. But whatever, that could be a theory that you're going to give it a little burst in the beginning, get off to a good time, reduce your overall time by expending the energy when you have it, and then just basically hang on and cut back to, once again, I don't know what a good time is, 10-minute mile or something for a marathon. Now we're talking not for just a sprint, but what I'm saying is you can go in limited doses faster. And where that applies to what we're talking about is in the past, I have been purposely out of balance and just focused on work and focused on money. I was flat broke in 2014. I needed to focus on money or I couldn't survive. Let's be honest, there's no woman in the world who wants to date you when you're a broke-ass motherfucker and you're about to be homeless and your car is getting repossessed. It doesn't happen. At the very least, even if a woman loves you, she wants you to be financially stable. She doesn't want to have to take care of you, if that, makes sense. It does to me. So, I mean, if you're in that spot like I was in 2014, you got to get your shit together before you date anybody. So I focused on the business, right? Got back into real estate in 2015, started my brokerage in 2016, and, the rest was good. I've talked many times about the 4 years, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and what I built and how I did it, so that you have a blueprint and you can do it too. So during that time, I dated a couple of women for 6 months, or even one was like 1 month. But the focus was on work. One of the reasons I was a, quote, good broker is I was in that office every day for the agents. They could come in and talk personal stuff, business stuff, not 24/7, but damn close to it. So that was value added, right? That was a unique selling proposition, like I train you guys on, that I was giving the agents. It was the best deal in town, and word spread, and I got to recruit through a lot of referrals for people who were part of the family and said, hey man, you got to come check this guy out. He's not like any other broker you ever worked for. And I wasn't. So, and I did that by not having balance, right? I was out of balance, but as soon as I got here and retired, when I achieved my goal of retiring, prior to 60, then I started focusing. I shifted the focus. Am I still focused on making money? Yeah, I'm still doing this, doing that, and I share that with you guys every day. But a big part of my time and energy is spent on health, and I lost 37 pounds. It's pretty good, but I got more. I got more to do until I hit about 220 pounds, 100 kilos it is. It's a good number. I'm not going to stop focusing on my health and doing everything I can to get the weight down to, what I think is a reasonable, healthy level. So then that will be in balance, while the money's coming in and all the systems that I set up are going on. I'm about to buy a shitload of cars, as I told you, washing the proceeds from my 2 houses through the auction. I'm going today to look at a house. It's just a little 1-bedroom house, but it's got a huge covered parking. And it's not an ideal location, but it will work. It will work for right now, for what I'm about to do, which is buy, 10 bikes, 4 cars, whatever happens at the auction happens. I can't control that, but I need a space to park them, and that's what Jeffrey and I are going to go look at today, because he needs space to park too. So there you go. All about balance. All about taking action on a repeated basis until it's second nature and you're not even thinking about it anymore. Good stuff from my boy Napoleon today. Y'all be good.